Hey guys, welcome to a very special Wrestlemania 30 edition of Intelligent Wrestling Talk. I am Dan Janoff.
And this is Anthony Feliciano, aka the one and only Zeb V, the real American.
And I'm either
for wrestling.
I always think you're done. I always think you're done, and then
I'm never done, Mr. Jade. I'm never done.
I'm either Jade Lowe or Vince McMahon. I'm having an identity crisis right now. Honestly, I'm not sure which one I am, but damn it! See, it just comes out. Sorry.
with your multiple personalities.
Yeah, sorry about that.
All right, and what better place to start than the beginning of WrestleMania 30? Probably the best opening ever, which we had Hogan, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and The Rock. Just amazing.
So awesome.
And just when we thought The Rock was already done with the WWE, just when we thought The Rock walked out of The Rock's people, The Rock came back.
I thought The Rock was going to come out and put himself in the main event, honestly. When The Rock came out, I was like, oh no, not this shit again. But no, it was a really cool moment. Hogan came out, and after he got the name of the place wrong about 50 times and renamed the company WWFE, it turned out to be a really kick-ass moment. I marked out pretty hard for that.
Silverdome, Superdome, that doesn't matter.
That's going to be a running joke until next WrestleMania.
Pretty much. Alright, and then after that, our opening match, which I guess we could have expected considering they were going to have two matches that night, was Daniel Bryan taking on Triple H, and this was quite a match with Daniel Bryan coming out on top.
Oh, I gotta give credit to Triple H. He is such a genius heel. The way he came out as King Aquaman on his throne, and it just told me, it's like, the Triple H is just loving his own character so much that he's willing to go to the next level. And just to see Daniel Bryan win this, I couldn't have been more.
It's a shame that either Daniel Bryan is not 10 years older or Triple H isn't 10 years younger, because you can see it when they work together, how good of in-ring chemistry they have. And I think, despite how great the match was, it was great just to see the payoff of Daniel Bryan actually physically going over Triple H in a match. The night wasn't even done yet, but I think just with seeing that, it kind of took a lot of weight off of all of the Yes Movement's shoulders.
Yeah, and I actually wanted to bring up a little point, because Anthony mentioned that he kind of looked like, Aquaman, right?
Yeah. Come on, it was Aquaman.
I actually thought he looked more like Shao Kahn from Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, I can see that.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
Because he even had the girls with him.
Yeah. Yep.
Alright, and in the next match, kind of a surprise. It went by kind of quicker than we thought it would, with the Shield basically just destroying the New Age Outlaws and Kane.
Well, I'm going to talk about this match, and what happened was that just as the match was about to start, I went up to go ahead and get something to drink, and I went to go make a sandwich. And during that moment, when I came back, I saw the next promo or whatever start, and I kindly asked, well, wait a second, what did I just miss? Then I found out that match was over, and I thought, wow, this is a good WrestleMania moment. What did you think, Jade?
I don't know what to think. That was the first of several moments at this WrestleMania where I was just sitting there, eyes wide open, mouth agape, going, what the hell just happened? I expected the Shield to go over, but I did not expect just to see them absolutely bury. This is Kane and the New Age Outlaws. You don't get many names that are bigger than that, despite how old they are and they're wearing suits now and all that shit, whatever. But it's Kane and the New Age Outlaws, and it's WrestleMania. I was expecting to see an epic 6-man encounter, much like the one with the Wyatts that the Shield had just a few months ago, and I didn't get that. So I love the Shield, I love where they're going with them, but when I saw what happened in that match and they just went over them so easily, like it was Tensai 2 years ago against Zack Ryder or some shit. It was, and that happened. I was just left with a little bit of a bitter taste in my mouth. That short of a build up, honestly, I didn't know what to expect, but I guess I was just a little disappointed in how it went down.
Yeah,
definitely hoping it was a little longer, but they did get their WrestleMania moment though with that double powerbomb.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, I would have known about it had the match been longer.
Well, if you didn't walk away from the TV set, maybe you would have saw it, Anthony.
Damn,
Never
that
walking
sandwich!
away ever again.
That sandwich cost me everything!
From now on, it's piss buckets and minifigures.
Piss buckets. Okay, we're going to transition away from that if we can.
Somehow.
On to one of the bigger moments of the night. It was the Andre the Giant over the top rope battle royal, where a winner gets that pretty nice trophy of Andre the Giant. And we would see a lot of incredible moments during the match, but our winner, Cesaro,
Yes.
how are we feeling about that?
Oh, this was, well, narcissistically, I felt great just because 2 weeks ago I jokingly said that Cesaro would, get it, and I was on a podcast too, and I actually said it, oh, you know what, I think it's gonna be Cesaro. You know, Big E or maybe Cesaro. No, definitely Cesaro. Of course. But to be fair though, it was like a 10-man job squad in there as well. You got some bigger names in there, but it was definitely a great to see Cesaro get his WrestleMania moment, especially Andre Giant. And Big Show, God bless him, he really put Cesaro over, even with the handshake at the end too. I mean, if that wasn't great, I don't know what else is for Cesaro at that time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think this is overall the best moment for me at WrestleMania of anything that happened. Just the image of seeing Cesaro in the ring and just knowing that this year, if Cesaro gets the push that we all want him to get, this is the beginning of that push, and seeing him in winning like that. And I had my Final Four just because I know how Vince McMahon and Triple H operate. I thought the Final Four was going to be Big Show, Big E Langston, Sheamus, and then either Ziggler or Kofi, with Big Show eventually coming out on top. I was still kind of mad that Ziggler didn't win. I want Ziggler to win the world. But if it was going to be anybody but Ziggler, and I'm glad it was Cesaro. And also, we can't escape the situation or the conversation without noting that every time Kofi Kingston gets anything with the word Rumble in it, he usually does something pretty freaking cool. And he didn't this time either.
Absolutely. Alright, moving on to the next match. We had Bray Wyatt facing off against John Cena. A lot went on beforehand, pretty awesome promo package. Cena wins again, but
Cena wins, LOL.
Yeah, but Bray Wyatt looked pretty good.
Yeah, he came, well, I agree, because he came out with the cool ass Bane coat, and now I'm really trying to find out where he got it. No, but besides that though, yeah, and you know what? Yeah, alright, Cena won, but you know what? We all know Cena wins, and at this time, we know who the real winner was. Bray Wyatt gave it his all in that match, and my favorite is when, he does his little spider move as well, and that was just, oh man, it's just so good.
Yeah. I've never seen anything like that, where the camera was just following Cena against the ropes, and it comes back and Bray's already in his crab walk, and when Cena fell on his ass, I did too. Like, I jumped back in my seat and I was like, God damn it, that's fantastic. And do you guys know the name of the band that plays the Wyatt's theme song? Because how good were they? They were amazing. They were really good. I heard they almost blew it because when they got the offer to do it last summer, they actually sent out a tweet saying, "Guess we'll see you guys in New Orleans," and then they immediately had to pull it down. So I know that much, but I don't know the name. And you know, just one minor note: Bray Wyatt was great, but how great was it just to hear him say New Orleans? Like, I don't know, just something about the way he said New Orleans gave me chills before he even did anything else. It was great from start to finish.
The vocalist's name is Mark Crozer. I don't know if the band actually has a name, but Mark Crozer is the artist behind the Wyatt theme.
Okay.
Yeah, funny enough, I just pulled it up as soon as you did, so.
Well, he and the other guys in the mask did fantastic then.
Yes.
That's right, I agree.
Yeah.
Next, and probably the big shocker of the night, and of course if you haven't heard about it up until now, you've probably been living under a rock. The Undertaker taking on Brock Lesnar. Man. And Brock Lesnar, with a third F5, gets the Undertaker and ends the streak.
Yeah, you know, it really was a dark day, just to hear 3 when, a man pins The Undertaker in WrestleMania. I was just as shocked as the audience, and you know, the silence was more deafening too. You heard some cheers, some boos, but you heard silence. And, that was my reaction.
Mm-hmm.
I still cannot even see the image in my head and put together words to describe what we saw and what we felt last night. Like, I think the look on everyone's face was telling the story of that entire match. If you follow along with dirt sheets or even just wrestling stories, you know that Undertaker has huge respect for UFC, huge respect for Brock Lesnar, and he wanted Lesnar to end the streak a few years ago, but Shawn Michaels and Triple H still wanted shots at him, so they held off on that. But I think the thing that bothers me the most is that even with Brock Lesnar, it was not a believable loss. Like, how many real big moves besides the 3 F5s did Lesnar even put on Taker? And I mean, at the end of an era match, he took 3 pedigrees, a sweet chin music, and 50 chair shots, and he still came back and won. And then he gets hit with a few punches to the ribs, a Kimura lock, and 3 F5s, and he can't get up from that. Like, I don't know. There was just something about it that, again, just like the Shield match, but on a much grander scale, the disappointment of the loss and my childhood being crushed, combined with the fact that the match was just supremely underwhelming, supremely undersold, and I don't know. It's just disappointment all around with that, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it was like Anthony said, because the crowd was just absolutely just dead quiet. Like, you could literally hear a pin drop. Even the announcers sound really depressed. Like, and you can speculate about it all you want, whether it was planned or not, whether Undertaker was injured, but to be honest, until we hear some sort of statement from either The Undertaker or Vince McMahon, we kind of just have to go, okay, that was the match.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the next match then. The next one, poor Divas. Normally they don't really get too much of a reaction, but following The Undertaker and Lesnar, I felt really bad because they actually looked pretty good. The crowd was dead, and AJ retained.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it just comes to, you know, this is why I wish like that Divas, oh man, you know, it was just such bad timing. Like, it was too soon, you know.
Yeah.
Just to have the Divas matchup. But you know what? I actually like the Divas Rumble. I kind of like seeing them all there. And, as soon as the Bella Twins, shot straight out of the ring, I mean, I really wanted to be right between those Divas, like right underneath. Not even like any improvement, just want to be blanketed right there. Like any male wrestling fan's dream would just to be right there. But yes, but hey, you know, it was a good match and I'm happy for it. I wish Naomi did win, but for reasons we'll explain later, now I'm glad AJ did win.
Right. I mean, there were some cool moments. I mean, there was the spot where the Bellas, you know, finally got at each other's throats and all that. There was some cool moves. I mean, usually when there's a bunch of divas in the ring, they find something really cool to do. Like, I think last year the Total Divas did something where they hooked each other in the arms and spun around. They did like a 6 diva suplex on Raw a couple of months ago. I was expecting some big spot like that, but it just ended with AJ locking in the Black Widow, I think is what she calls it. I think it was on Naomi too, and you know,
yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not like Mexican Marilyn Monroe was going to win. Too soon.
Even I didn't say that.
AKA Rosa Mendes.
AKA Rosa Mendes, yeah.
We'll just make sure we get that right. Yeah, so, alright, I don't think there's too much else to say about that.
Not really.
Get into the big match of the night. Triple threat WWE World Heavyweight Championship match. This has been building up for basically since SummerSlam. Bryan going up against Orton and Batista was pretty much, it was kind of more of a 2-on-1 for most of the match. You'd see the Authority get involved. Even that pretty awesome looking powerbomb / I guess reverse RKO through a table. But Bryan overcomes all the odds and pretty much the WrestleMania dream and becomes champion.
Yeah, the man started off in whatever local promotion he had, wherever it is he started from, selling t-shirts from a car out in a parking lot. Mm-hmm. Years later, here he is, the World Heavyweight Champion. And if that's not the American dream, then I don't know what is, because that was just that's a movie right there. We have been watching a movie of this man go through pretty much everything, overcoming all odds, especially with his height. And here he is, and here we are, and it's just such a phenomenal event.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, first of all, the American Dream would be Dusty Rhodes, Tony, not Daniel Bryan.
You know what
I know what you mean. I don't know. I thought it was, it was a little overkill with everything they put him through in the match. I mean, cause he's been fighting this bullshit for 6 months. I mean, and it was kinda, I called it overkill, but when you stop and think about it, it's kinda cool because they kinda took everything that Daniel Bryan had went through in the past 6 months and squashed it all into the match. Yeah, he was fighting 3 people on one. There was a crooked ref. He was fighting through injury. He got put through a table and power. Pretty much everything that has happened to Daniel Bryan in the past 6 or 7 months happened to him again in one night last night. The crooked ref comes back, powerbomb RKO through the table. How dead did Randy Orton look, by the way?
Yep.
He gets carried out on a stretcher and then comes back and beats 2 probable future Hall of Famers in one night. I mean, I don't know how much more, and sing the praises of Daniel Bryan all we want. You know I will. Love Daniel Bryan Danielson. But I think we forget, because they are who they are and how tired we get of them, I think we forget how good Randy Orton and Batista can be when it's against the right guy at the right time and Batista and Randy Orton, even when Daniel Bryan wasn't even involved in the match last night, it kept my attention. I think there were a couple times they were in the ring alone, and we actually thought that 3 count was going to happen at some point. So they did a good job of keeping us interested in the match when Daniel Bryan was out cold in the stretcher. We got the result we wanted, but I think we need to give Orton and Batista a little bit of credit in this one for making it as good as it was.
You're right, that is true.
Alright, so that concludes Wrestlemania. Even including what happened with The Undertaker, I still think is probably one of the better WrestleManias in recent memory.
I agree. In fact, as I'll say it for the 1000th time, as someone who was there at last year's WrestleMania, this definitely kicked the crap out of it. Oh my god, I wish I was at this WrestleMania.
Yeah, I think so. This is probably the best WrestleMania we've seen since WrestleMania 22. So, I think we have been pining for just an awesome, epic, huge WrestleMania. And you can kind of thank Daniel Bryan, the storyline, and the payoff for making it as awesome as it was. But nonetheless, awesome show. I'm glad I didn't pay $60 for it. I love the WWE Network, by the way.
Yep.
So we should throw that out there too. Good move, WWE. Well played. Well played.
Yep.
Indeed.
Right. And I guess we might as well get into Raw as well, which was probably just as entertaining, if not more so.
Tonight is the night.
It's a hot crowd, tight crowd.
Tight crowd. Something. John Cena wins.
What's that other one too? I actually like the other song, but I never remember the lyrics for it. He's got an electric guitar and he goes, "Hey, something far away
Emotional
forever."
mood swings will collide. Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
That one. I don't know the lyrics.
Stay aside.
Yeah, exactly. Take it away, dude.
Anyway, the beginning of Raw, we had Daniel Bryan celebrating his big WWE World Heavyweight Championship win. Of course, got interrupted by Triple H. who made a championship match between himself and Bryan later on the night, and definitely was not at all surprised by that.
Nope, and I think we're gonna see, if I am correct, and I never wrong, although I am wrong sometimes.
Never wrong, but am wrong sometimes.
No, I think we're seeing Triple H, just adding himself into the ring, but to help put over at least, maybe intensify the storylines more too. So I'm liking the direction Triple H is going with Daniel Bryan. So I approve.
Yeah, great collection of chants in the opening segment too. A lot of yes, a lot of no, you deserve it, asshole. A lot of good chants. I approve the crowd. You could tell in the opening segment that this crowd was going to be just as good, if not better, than last year's crowd. I
agree.
All right.
And I was there last year too at Izod Center.
Hey, we didn't know that, Tony.
Well, if we really want to get into who that was Wrestlemania, I was at the one prior to that, right around where the yes chant started. So,
right.
Take that, Anthony.
Yeah,
I was at the last Wrestlemania where victory.
Well, I was at the Wrestlemania where The Rock beat John Cena. Which one were you at again? The one where John Cena lost to The Rock, is that right?
That main event is a blur to me, but yeah. Alright.
Enough going back and forth on that, but I do win. But anyway,
John Cena wins, LOL.
Alright, trying to regroup here. Alright, what was the next big thing that happened? I guess we can talk about the 6-man tag between the Wyatts taking on the John Cena, Sheamus, and Big E. And Bray Wyatt hit Sister Abigail on Big E, and he got the win for the Wyatts.
Let me tell you something. This was not a good day for John Cena. John Cena had a bad day. This was not a good day for John Cena. This wasn't even a good day for Sheamus either, but John Cena took most of the rabble. Big E, well, not so much, because actually people do like Big E as well, but John Cena, oh boy. But hey, you know what? It was a great match for the Wyatt family as well, and Luke Harper, great as always. Wyatt, Eric Rowan, they all have outdone themselves in this match.
Yeah, and it's like WWE didn't want us to think that just because Bray Wyatt didn't go over John Cena that they didn't still have huge things planned for him. I mean, because in 2014, Cena, Sheamus, and Big E Langston are going to be 3 of their top guys all year long. And they just sent the Wyatts out there and just almost decimated them. Like, it was almost all Wyatts all the time in that match. And the crowd so behind the Wyatts. I mean, how they started singing that he's got the whole world in his hands, and I cracked so hard. I was like, this is fantastic. And then the Wyatts go over them. It was great night for the Wyatts. Bad night for John Cena. Great night for the Wyatts.
And the next big thing we would see happen, we would see, I guess, a bit of a return in that of Rob Van Dam.
What of the cat?
Took on poor Damien Sandow.
You're not welcome.
Van Dam won with a 5-star frog splash.
Yeah, I love seeing Rob Van Dam come back, but I can't help that this made him look a little weaker, didn't it? Because Sandow, as we've seen, has been, he even jobbed to Sin Cara the other night. And hey, whatever. I'm all for Rob Van Dam's return. He's obviously going to squash somebody anyway, but I just had no idea that it would be, Sandow. If it would have been a more like, if he would have fought against Sheamus instead, I don't know. I mean, I feel like he could have fought someone with just a little more to him,
Yeah. I mean, I know they wanted to see RVD win, but I think losing to Sheamus or Big E Langston or someone of that caliber would have helped him a lot more than winning over Damien Sandow. It'll just be interesting to see if RVD sticks around for a while this time, or if he just goes and does a TLC match at Extreme Rules and then just takes off in a cloud of smoke again. We'll see what happens.
Well, 420 is a few days away.
Right around the corner.
And the next big thing, I guess really just mostly a surprise, we actually see Bad News Barrett in a wrestling match against someone of the likes of Rey Mysterio. I think we all thought that Barrett wasn't gonna win, but Barrett, we saw at Hall of Fame, super over with the crowd, and he was definitely over that night, and he actually got the win with the bullhammer.
Well, I'm afraid I've got some good news. You see, Wade Barrett came out and he decimated. Oh, you know what? He came out to a great crowd, though. That was another great night for Wade Barrett. Wade Mysterio, again, he didn't have a good night. Wade Barrett had a great night. I love this. I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to find out who had bad nights and good nights.
I think Rey Mysterio, since the Rumble, has had a bad year.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. It's not, you know what? Did you think that it was a bit of a, you know how Mysterio, if anyone caught that, Mysterio kind of attacked Wade Barrett right away, and that sort of heelish, quick attack. Mm-hmm. So I'm wondering if we're seeing that direction taken with Rey Mysterio.
I don't know. I think Rey Mysterio sells too many masks to go heel. I just think it was something where Rey Mysterio, you know, usually if he's hurt enough of somebody, he'll hit him with a drop kick or something like that. But I don't know. It was just, regardless of Wade Barrett winning, you know, I'm the president of the Dolph Ziggler fan club and I'm the secretary of the Wade Barrett fan club. And just seeing the reaction that he got, hearing the booms from the crowd, and you know, they echoed back his "I've got some bad news." I just hope that this wasn't just WWE taking advantage of the post-WrestleMania hype, and that we continue to see Bad News Barrett defeating better opponents than Rey Mysterio. Because, you know, Rey Mysterio, God bless him, he's a future Hall of Famer, but Rey Mysterio is not a huge win right now. So
no.
Let's hope we see Barrett back, you know, beating the likes of, again, Sheamus, who seems to be really high on WWE's list right now. Some guy like that, and let's just hope it keeps going.
Agreed.
Yep.
Alright, and then we'd see the debut of Alexander Rusev, and poor Zack Ryder finally gets some TV time, but gets absolutely decimated by Rusev.
Yeah, you know,
bad day to be Ryder.
You know what? Yes, it was, no, you know what? It was actually a good night to be Ryder, and I'll tell you why. Because it's usually a bad night when Ryder jobs to someone, well, to everyone. However, in this case, since it's, Rusev, I think it's a good night only because I guess they sort of play Zack Ryder in this, sort of, hey, you know, we have an important job for you today, Zack Ryder. We need you to job to Rusev. I'll do it, you know? So, yeah, I think it was a good night for the both of them.
And I mean, to anyone like the three of us who watches NXT as much as possible, last night was not a debut for us for Alexander Rusev. We've seen Rusev week to week destroying Tyler Breeze and Kofi Kingston and guys like that on NXT week to week. So we kind of knew what we were getting and what they were going to do. I'm not a huge fan of Rusev. I mean, he's really good in the ring, but I'm usually not a big fan of the personas that need to be translated. They just don't hold my attention very well. But Lana's got my attention, and she'll keep it for as long as she's on TV. She doesn't have to say anything, and that lady's got my attention.
Those legs.
Damn. Sorry.
It should be, you know, her theme should just be Kid Rock's theme, right? Legs.
Yeah.
I think they could work out a deal. I mean, we've got American Badass as Undertaker's theme, so why not?
Well, that was actually Stacy Keibler's theme that she was using for a while.
They could be.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? Oh, how did I not? Oh, all right.
Well, yeah, because you know, Stacy Keibler was always known for her really long legs.
Okay, well, carry on.
The more you know.
The things you learn on Intelligent Wrestling Talk.
Yeah, I know. Ooh, that's not very good for me.
Well, you are the one and only member of IWT as well as other many.
Oh God, I can't even. Let's move on. Moving on. Come on,
okay.
Dan.
All right, and probably I think it has to be the biggest moment of the night. We saw AJ come out and boast about her big victory at WrestleMania, and we see, well, not so familiar face to Raw fans, but more of a familiar face to NXT fans. That is the NXT Divas champion and Paige just come out and congratulate her, and a bit of an impromptu match where we would see a huge shocker, probably and it actually is the first time someone's ever held both championships at the same time with NXT and WWE.
Yes, and I wonder how does that play out if she, obviously on the NXT roster, is she going to carry the Divas belt with her? Since she's anti-Diva, is she going to trash the Divas belt or put black tape over it? It's interesting to see where all that goes. I'm one of the few who loves her voice. I think she sounds sexy.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, dude.
I don't know what everyone's complaining about. They're like, oh god, she's on the mic.
I love listening to Paige talk. I love listening and watching the Paige do anything that she wants to do.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, such a huge mark out moment for anybody who watches NXT, and for anybody who doesn't, you are missing the best wrestling that anybody has to offer right now. It's happening on NXT. But yeah, two things that'll be interesting to watch out for. One, like Tony said, if she pulls a Rock and alters the belt, which I think would probably look badass for whatever Paige's character would come up with. Mm-hmm. And two, it'll be interesting to see who the NXT Divas title drops to. You got so many great divas on NXT right now. You got Emma and Charlotte and Summer Rae and Sasha Banks and Bayley. I mean, it'll just be really cool to see how the NXT title plays out from here on out. Now that Paige is, presumably going to drop that title and move to the main roster, it'll be interesting to see who they put that title on now.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised to see that she didn't even come out with the NXT title. I thought that was interesting.
Oh, that's right. That is right. Well, I'll tell you what, Dan, it was a great night for Paige, but I'll tell you who it's not a great night for. It was not a great night for Ryback. I'll tell you.
What?
Only you of all people will get a Ryback reference.
When Ryback had his title shot, everyone was booing Ryback. Oh, Ryback's boo, Ryback. Paige comes out, Paige, oh my god. And when she gets the title, could you imagine if Ryback had gotten the title? Could you imagine what kind of a shitstorm? Now, exactly. Don't imagine that. Now Paige comes out and gets the title, and now we're all happy.
Oh, only you would bring up Ryback.
Yeah. And it's
rules.
24 hours
I'm not doing a good cause for Intelligent Wrestling Talk, I'm sorry.
24 hours removed from Brock Lesnar beating Undertaker, and everyone's big beef was that what that is. Oh, he's a part-timer. He never wrestles on Raw. And then Paige comes in without ever even appearing on Raw and takes the Divas title, and everyone, I mean, and we know we're fickle as wrestling fans. We live by a set of guidelines that are so bendable and breakable that they shouldn't even be there. But, I mean, Brock Lesnar is a meh wrestler, and Ryback is a meh wrestler, and Paige is an awesome wrestler. She's got the look, she's got the persona, she's got the skills. So I think, that's when the rules change, is when you have the ability to outweigh your lack of experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I also think it'll be interesting to see them actually have a legit, wrestling match in the future, cause they're more of the talented, female wrestlers that WWE has right now.
This angle will be fantastic. I'm stoked for it.
Now, I haven't really, I catch NXT every now and then, but has Paige ever gone up against Naomi? Cause I would really love to see that. I keep pushing for Naomi only just because I like what she has shown in the matches that she's offered. I would love to just see that, match right there.
The Funkadactyls have never been on NXT. She's gone over Natalya though.
Okay. Oh, alright. No, I just hadn't, like.
Right.
Yeah, the only version of NXT Naomi was on was the one where they was doing a competition for it that nobody watched.
Okay. I get it. Right.
Alright, and the next big moment, we see Cesaro and Zeb Coulter come down to the ring. Just to kind of celebrate Cesaro's victory, and we would end up seeing Cesaro ditching Zeb Coulter for Paul Heyman, and the whole moment was just perfect.
The King of Swing, Cesaro. I love it. I am already sold. Or if you weren't sold on Cesaro before because you lived in Mars and you just came here from a spaceship and you just heard that, you were already sold by Cesaro. But you know what? I think we need to take it down a notch with Cesaro.
Come on.
Bad guy Anthony.
Hold on a second. He needs to give us 2 weeks notice to Zeb Coulter. He should have done it in Real American.
I think that needs
I'm just playing. No, this was a great moment, and I think Jade, you said it earlier, right, that this is going to be the year of Cesaro, and I guess we're right on track.
Yeah, and this show is just like WWE got tired of all the bitching and they just opened up all of the internet forums and did everything that we wanted. Like, I don't know how many people, I can't count how many people have been saying all year that, if Cesaro was with Heyman, that would be fantastic. And then all of a sudden, just out of the blue, I'm not a Zeb Coulter guy, I am a Paul Heyman guy. And the crowd just goes insane. I mean, it blew my mind. And then the segment that happened after with Jack Swagger. I mean, Swagger broke that Andre the Giant trophy. That's going to give him some major heat that he's going to desperately need just to keep up with Cesaro in their angle that they presumably are going to have going through Extreme Rules now. So it was a good segment. It blew my mind. I think it was the shock of that. I think we all expected Cesaro to leave the Real Americans tonight, but I don't think we expected him to become a Paul Heyman guy. And it'll be interesting to know, with what Heyman's been doing with Lesnar, and now he's managing a guy who looks to be one of the biggest faces in the company right now. We'll see how that balances out.
Perfectly said. I agree with everything.
And the last, I'm not even sure if there's just so many big moments. I'm not sure how this rates on the scale, but before the big moment, though, we would see backstage with Stephanie talking with the Shield and Kane and trying to get everybody on the same page. But, we knew better. We knew that the Shield wasn't going to help them out. Because we were already seeing during this match, it wasn't even a match, really. It was more of a beatdown on Bryan with Batista, Orton, all just wailing on him, and then, here comes the Shield, and the announcers are just, no, more trouble for Bryan, but nope, an epic encounter with the past taking on the future.
Yes, that's perfectly said, past versus future. I think we're gonna see, I wonder if we're gonna see now, Triple H, I guess, sort of, you know what, now that's what I'm thinking, Triple H, I guess he's gonna be, I would have to assume he's gonna be wrestling more now, I guess teaming up with, Orton and, Batista and just do 3-man tags against, the Shield, etc., and try to make examples out of Daniel Bryan. I think we're gonna see this feud continue, which is great feud, and I would like to see how it works out as Daniel Bryan is champion, since I guess any other gang initiation, it seems like Daniel Bryan is still getting his ass kicked.
I think the biggest question out of this is, what does Triple H want us to call him? I mean, it's like the Authority and Evolution. Is it like Ev-Authority or authorization, or I don't know what they want to call this clique they have here? Because I mean, if you think about, if the Outlaws come back, you got Triple H and the Outlaws, Kane, and then Batista and Randy Orton. And, it's worth throwing out there that Triple H had put Batista and Orton in a tag team match against the Usos for the tag titles. It ended in a count out because Orton and Batista just absolutely destroyed the Usos on the outside of the ring. So obviously it was showing they were on the same page. But yeah, and then they come out and, Triple H is all pissed off because he's like, no, this is not going to happen, because he wants to win the title. And then Reigns spears Triple H. Everyone in the world marks the hell out. And then the Shield takes out the entire Ev-Authority, and you got the Shield standing on the ropes and Daniel Bryan on the top turnbuckle, and it's just it blows my freaking mind how fantastic this episode of Raw was. Like, it was almost worth more money than Wrestlemania was. So many mark out moments, so many surprises, so many I don't even know. It was a 15 out of 10. It was just like WrestleMania was the best WrestleMania we've seen in years. This Raw was the best episode of Raw that we have seen in years. And I just can't get, I'm gonna be disappointed next week because I know next week everything's gonna have to come back down to earth a little bit and we're all gonna be disappointed with next week's Raw. That's the only bad part about it, is knowing that the next few weeks of wrestling are going to suck compared to what happened the last 2 days.
Yeah.
But as a wrestling fan, it's like I'm just laying back in the bed with my arms open and smoking a cigarette. I've had the best time of my life the past 2 days. So, no complaints whatsoever.
I hear you. And, and that's,
Oh, I'm sorry, Dan. I know you're about to conclude the show. However, I know. You know what it is? I'm so bad with my timing. Like, I'm usually late, or sometimes I'm too early. But I'm usually late.
Are you afraid you have some bad news for me?
I'm afraid I've got some bad news. Well, you see, I was just on IGN earlier because the guy Matt Fuller actually does really good wrestling wrap-up articles on IGN. He does all the GIFs and everything. He was talking about actually being there for WrestleMania and being there for Raw. And he said that in Raw, similar to how Izod Center was last year when everyone's still fandangoing out in the streets, people were still like cheering yes. They were just cheering whatever the hell thing they had to cheer outside through the escalators, through the buses, towards the tree, just like, I guess, in real life when they got outside that stadium. So the crowd was still marking out even after the show. And that's just great to see and hear.
I think the award for best chant of the night, which I think you have to give out for any post-WrestleMania Raw, is a tie between the sing-along for He's Got the Whole World in His Hands and John Cena sucks. John Cena sucks.
Yep.
I think it's a tie between those two things for me for chant of the night.
And of course, let's not forget what they all said, pussy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was great.
Yep.
It's really amazing.
There.
It's really amazing how well these crowds just coordinate with each other.
Oh,
I know. I'm thinking because, it's post WrestleMania and also WrestleMania, so it's definitely international tourists. Like half of that are international, similar to last year. And, I remember last year, like when there was just one particular section, not facing the camera, but like to the right of the cameras, like that, there was like a whole group there that just started these crazy chants, and that's even how Fandango started, just that one section. I don't know if that's like that for this one, but whatever it is that's happening, let's keep it going.
Right, and I mean, it's like you watch an AC/DC concert recorded on YouTube that takes place in Memphis, Tennessee, or Los Angeles, California, and the crowds are, meh. And then you watch AC/DC live at River Plate from Spain back in 2009, and 100,000 people in unison are just bouncing up and down, and it looks like the entire floor is coming unhinged from the building. So, international fans, whether it be wrestling, music, they have so much passion for what they watch. I think if you could just get an entire arena of guys from Intelligent Wrestling Talk, we could probably have a crowd just like that. But otherwise, those international fans just blow my mind with how much. And it's also because they get so very few opportunities to go and see big time WWE events, because they go do it house shows and stuff in little piddly ass towns in Europe and stuff like that. But when you go to WrestleMania, it's so much different. So they get there, they have 2 days to make an impression with how much they love wrestling, and boy,
they get there, they get drunk.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I don't know, it's just always a lot more fun. I wish we could get a more international flavor in WWE crowds at every show, but since that can't happen, it's good to have WrestleMania weekend to just take in and absorb and just get that wrestling high that we all love to get on for a couple of days, so.
Yep. Alright, and that concludes 2 pretty awesome nights of wrestling. I want to thank everybody for listening, thank everybody for, tons of talk the past couple of days.
There was like 800 comments on the WrestleMania discussion thread yesterday.
Yeah. Definitely a lot going on, and if you're not, say, a member, please look us up on Facebook, Intelligent Wrestling Talk. Though I always am, especially lately, just sorting through all the requests we've been getting lately. So, and I think I do. Okay, I have that post still pinned up. So when you do come in and when I do approve you, please make sure to say a little something, or else I will end up giving you the boot, because this group is all about talking, not about just sort of sitting around and just joining a group just to join it. So,
yeah.
Alright, with that being said, I am Dan Janoff.
And this is Anthony Feliciano.
This is Jade McMahon! Damn it, sorry, I did it again. I'm trying to get a hold of that! I'm sorry, you son of a bitch! Sorry, Dan. Go ahead.
And we'll see you on the next edition of IWT.